How this started for us is really a risk mitigation strategy. Around 2008, our CEO established a goal for us to build no additional fossil fuel capacity until the year 2020, which is a huge challenge considering our resource planning called for some kind of peaking capacity around 2014. The reason for that was just the amount of uncertainty in the U.S. environment right now around carbon legislation, carbon regulation, potentially carbon tax. Also see very low gas prices right now because of the fracking and the surplus of gas that we have. But with gas generation being the only thing anyone is building, we think those gas prices are eventually going to rise, especially as the economy continues to recover. So just a lot of uncertainty. Our CEO is a financial guy, and financial guys do not like uncertainty. And so he issued this goal for us to avoid any additional fossil fuel capacity. So we built a significant amount of wind generation over the years. Over 10% of our annual energy production comes from wind now. We've built transmission to get that wind from western Oklahoma into central Oklahoma, where the wind capacity is west and the load is in the center of the state. We've also increased a focus on energy efficiency, and we also deployed our smart grid technology, which we really see as a technology platform to allow us to do the things that we want to do around demand response. So we actually have a very comprehensive deployment. We've deployed a full AMI network across our service territory. In fact, we are almost through. We're at around 790,000 meters deployed right now. We'll finish by the end of December and have 800,000 meters deployed, all the endpoints deployed, also a wide area network deployed. So we'll be finished with that advanced metering infrastructure, and we're also using that as a communications platform for our distribution automation project. We're deploying reclosers and a distribution management system and automated voltage control. At the same time, we're deploying our demand response program, which really consists of different dynamic pricing rates, an energy information website, and in-home devices. And that's what I'm going to focus on today, is really a little bit of the DA, the volt VAR control, as well as our DR program. So we're simultaneously deploying all three. Obviously, the advanced metering infrastructure, as Anil said, this is not an experiment anymore, and it's not rocket science. It has enabled remote meter reading and remote connect disconnect, which has resulted in a significant amount of operational benefits for us, which we're passing on to our customers, especially remote connect disconnect. We've had over a 98% success rate in working orders remotely. And so that's significant savings. We've avoided over 500,000 truck rolls since the beginning of this project in 2010. It's 500,000 times we would have rolled a truck to work an order that we've been able to work remotely. Significant savings for us. The network itself, we're deploying a Silver Spring Networks local area network. It's a wireless mesh network. Also, we're working with Silver Spring on our home area network and the platform for the in-home devices. We're able to communicate into the home to devices via Zigbee. But we've also chosen to deploy a proprietary wide area network, which has a WiMAX layer and a microwave backhaul layer. And several reasons we did that. We believed we needed the bandwidth and the lower latency to be able to, we had met our bandwidth and latency requirements for DA and for DR. Doing 15-minute interval billing for these DR customers really created some issues. There's also some other operational reasons why we deployed that proprietary network instead of using existing CellNet. So targeted benefits, again, many. The reduced operating costs I've talked about, reduced peak demand and deferring that generation capacity, improved safety, reliability, grid efficiency, passing all of those fuel savings on to our customers as well. And then the environmental benefits and reduced emissions. But you note I skipped the top bullet, which to me is the most important. The enhanced customer relationships and engagement. What we've done with DR and simultaneously deploying DR along with our AMI deployment has really headed off a lot of the issues around AMI deployment for us. We're able to clearly articulate what was in it for the customer from the very beginning. We were also able to provide customers with the price transparency and usage transparency that they've never had before. We've seen higher customer satisfaction scores since we started our deployment than we had before our deployment. This is one of the slides I'm going to skip because if we talk about these numbers, I'll be here for the rest of the 20 minutes. But I will say the one thing I want to note on this slide, around demand reduction, we have a goal of around 300 megawatts that we'll be able to achieve from our DR program and our volt-var optimization program, and that'll be with about a 20% penetration into our residential customer market, meaning we will sign up, our goal is to sign up 120,000 residential customers to this program, which is a significant goal and a significant challenge. We are well on our way. So the business case around demand response for us, again, provide price and usage transparency to motivate customers to shift energy consumption and reduce peak demand. We began this in 2010. We actually went back around 2008 with a small test to make sure that the technology would work, and began it in earnest in 2010. We did a very rigid, structured study over the summers of 2010 and 2011. We recruited 3,000 customers in the summer of 10 and an additional 3,000 customers in the summer of 11. We tested various technologies and combinations of technology and pricing. We were able to look at a web portal, in-home displays, programmable communicating thermostats, and dynamic pricing, and really test what combination of pricing and technology, as well as communication to customers, really worked the best and was the most effective. One of the rates that we tested and turned out to be the most effective rate, and what we're moving forward with, is what we call variable peak pricing. And our variable peak pricing rate is interesting, and historically we have had time of use rates with our customers for a long time. Two-tiered time of use rate had a high on-peak price, a low off-peak price. In Oklahoma, when I say peak, I'm talking about summer. We're a summer peak utility, so peak time for us are the months of June through September, the hours of 2 to 7 p.m. on Monday through Friday. And it can easily reach in late August, or late July, early August, we'll easily reach 110 degrees in Oklahoma. And we'll have a string, last summer I think we had a string of maybe 10 or so days over 100 degrees in a row. 2011 was the hottest summer on record. We had over 20 days in a row over 100 degrees. So it was very hot through the summer. So during those peak periods, traditionally with those time of use rates, you would send the same on-peak price every day. With variable peak pricing, we can send one of 4 different prices on peak. So it can be anywhere from a low of 5 cents to a critical high of 46 cents. And what that's allowed us to do is a couple of things. One, we do have cool days in Oklahoma in the summer. So you'll have that string 100 degrees and all of a sudden a cool front will come in and it'll cool off. So we can price closer to our marginal pricing, the marginal cost of energy, and not have to send the same high price to customers every day. If you continue to send the same high price to customers every day, you get fatigued. Customers get tired of that same price every day. They get tired of having to curtail every day. So every now and then we have a break. For one, weekends. We kind of joke and call this the free nights and weekends rate. So you have very cheap rates nights and weekends, but every now and then we can send a lower price on peak as well to give a break. So we send the prices, the on-peak price, day ahead via our website, the in-home display, or what really is now just the PCT, through text messages, email, however customers want to sign up, multiple channels. Multiple channels is a key to just about everything that we have done with engaging customers. So I've talked about the different price tiers. We also offered a time of use rate to test that, and again, the VPP rate proved far more effective. So the in-home technologies, we tested a programmable communicating thermostat, which proved to be highly reliable and highly effective. It was a device that customers could just set and forget. So set it and forget it, provided automation. So when those price signals came through, they didn't have to run around the house and shut things off. They set the thermostat up and it was pre-programmed to respond however they wanted it to respond. Customers maintain control at all times. They can override, they can choose to not, they can buy through. So it's really up to customers how they comply. We also deployed the Silver Spring Network's Customer IQ energy information website. We call it My OG&E Power, which has been a huge phenomenon for us because it has provided that price and usage transparency that I've talked about. We rolled that website out just immediately from the start, which I think is critical. Gave customers something immediately that they can say, with this smart grid rollout, there's something in it for me. We also tested the Control4 in-home display, which did not prove to be as effective as the website actually, and it was significantly more expensive. We had some connectivity issues with the displays, which drove a lot of calls to our call center, which created additional expenses that we had to deal with. So we actually are not offering the in-home displays in our program moving forward. We've cut that technology. So the Energy Information website, again, we launched this very early on as we started deploying. And we have seen, and I have a slide that I'll show this, but we've seen significant demand reduction just as a result of the awareness created by the offering of the Energy Information website. It has been a big benefit to us, and it has also given something to the customer that they know that they're getting something for this deployment. I think it's really important with all of the other issues that I know Australia and New Zealand are dealing with around the market construct here and trying to figure out how you would offer dynamic pricing and demand response. The website is something that you could do immediately to create price and usage transparency and start to engage customers, which could change the equation for really who's in control here. This is a graph of our actual study results. So if you look at the red dashed line, that was the control group, which is what a typical daily load profile of a residential customer looks like in Oklahoma. You see the two lines below that. The one I want to focus on is the green line. The green line, we actually saw better response than we did with the in-home displays. That's the website. So you can see when you hit that 2 p.m. period that you start to see reduction. And that reduction remains throughout most of the on-peak period, although there is some decay. And you see a little bit of increased usage in some areas outside of peak, which is great for us. We want to improve load factor. So a big part of this is about improving load factor for us. The blue line, again, is the most dramatic. That's the thermostat. So you can see we have a dramatic reduction in peak demand immediately when the price signal is sent and hits those thermostats. We also have a dramatic decay, and there's some things that we're doing to adjust for that. One is pre-cooling. So in the 2012 year of the program, where we've really gone to full deployment, we have spent a lot more time educating customers about pre-cooling before we go into the on-peak. There's also an automated bucket, as we say, on the thermostat where customers can set up a pre-cooling mode so it automatically does that for them. So again, we see more off-peak sales and we take care of some of that decay. Not really worried about the peak you see after hours. It's not coincident with our other customer classes for one. We've also seen where we can use our volt-var control and extend that beyond the on-peak period. We actually operate volt-var from 1 to 8. So we clip the peak before we go into on-peak, and we clip the peak after we come out with volt-var optimization. So the numbers we saw with the website, about a half a kW of peak demand reduction just with the website. The website did not control any loads in the home. There was no other automation going on. It just created awareness and price transparency for customers. And that resulted in a half a kW demand reduction. So you can achieve demand reduction just by rolling out the website and providing that information that customers have never had before. You can see the IHD was slightly less, and the PCT is pretty dramatic, almost 2 kW on peak demand reduction on average on the highest peak day. This was the highest price day, and that was the 2 kW demand reduction from the PCTs. So the survey results. We are quite obsessive, actually, about customer satisfaction in our company. It's one of our key results. We measure it constantly, and we talk about it constantly. And we achieved over an 80% customer satisfaction rate as far as customers saying that they are likely or very likely to sign up or stay with this program now that they've been on it. So customer satisfaction numbers have been very high. I would also say that OG&E was just named #1 in residential customer satisfaction by J.D. Powers in the United States. I think that's a direct result of this program. We also measure Net Promoter Score, more of a measure of customer loyalty. And it can range anywhere from -100, what you would really call detractors, all the way up to +100 pure promoters. And we're running in the 40 to 50, just over 50 range as far as our Net Promoter Score. That's extraordinarily high for a utility. As a general rule, utilities are not necessarily your highest loyalty type companies. If you want to talk about the highest, it would be Apple or Amazon. They're in maybe the 70 to 80 range, depending. And we're seeing scores over 50, which we're just absolutely thrilled with. When we started this and we did a baseline score, we were barely above 0. And we actually have very, very positive relationships with our customers. For a utility, we're very well liked by our customers. So these scores are extraordinary. And they are highest for the people on the PCT, on the VPP rate, and the website is also scored very high. So as we move forward, what we've rolled out this year in mass is what we call our SmartHours program. SmartHours consists of the web portal, My OG&E Power, plus the thermostat and the VPP pricing rate. So through this year, we have signed up now over 41,000 customers into this program. So it's the largest customer engagement campaign we have ever run in the history of our company, and it's been extraordinarily successful. We estimate that this past summer that customers have achieved over right now we're saying closer to 70 megawatts because we've continued to sign up customers. So we would say we're close to 70 megawatts in peak demand reduction associated with this program at this current time. We've installed, at this point in time, over 26,000 thermostats in customers' home. Really can't overestimate the complexity of this. If you think about it as a utility, we are not in the business of installing devices inside customers' homes. We had to enroll 40,000 customers. We had to schedule appointments to install thermostats, and we had to go and install those thermostats. Significant amount of IT work that had to be done. SSN has partnered with us on all of that in creating an online enrollment tool, a scheduling tool, an order fulfillment tool, and we're able to send price signals through the CIQ application, the customer IQ application as well. So we have a single platform with SSN for demand response, which has been very, very effective for us. The customer engagement campaign had to use multiple channels. We have used every channel available to us. So we've had TV, print, online, newspaper, radio, a lot of web. We've used social media, a lot of customer testimonials, which have proven to be tremendously effective. So it's not me on TV or any place else, as much as I'd love to be on TV, saying you need to sign up for this program. It's our customers on TV saying you should sign up for this program, and here's why. I've saved close to $200 this summer. And really for us, for our customers, it's all about savings. So the customer engagement piece of this, you have to use multiple channels. You can never quit. I used the analogy yesterday, once we started this, is like jumping off the high dive. I can't climb back up at this point. I'm on my way down. We are completely committed. There's no turning back. And you cannot stop with the customer engagement. Have to constantly keep customers engaged to maintain sustainability. Most compelling reason, again, was saving money. It's not rocket science. Customers are interested in saving money. Our customers also demand to maintain control. They are not interested in the utility controlling their power for them, at least not in the residential segments of the market. And customers want choice. They want multiple options. So we have maintained multiple options that customers can sign up for. So really quickly, just to wrap up a couple of slides, we have also deployed our volt-var optimization. So we have automated the capacitors on our circuits, mostly the urban circuits. We've been able to bring the voltage up on the end. We can tie the voltage from the meters, our smart meters, with the automated capacitor controls and the load tap changers in the substation, all in our distribution management system. We can optimize the voltage on our circuits, bringing the end of the circuits up, and then we can reduce voltage on the entire circuit by as much as 2% during on-peak periods. And we've seen anywhere, the actual numbers I think in the presentation are from 0.8 to 2.4% demand reduction resulting from that voltage drop during peak times. This past summer on the circuits we deployed, we saw a little over 12 megawatts of demand reduction from this program. When we complete deployment across our service territory, we'll see about 80 megawatts of demand reduction. I have a few slides that just show those stats. So I've covered that. That's just an actual print of the demand reduction. You can see it in our distribution control center. And now that's integrated into our distribution management system and is fully automated. So last slide, some of the future program efforts. We really want to be able to tie all those demand response programs together, so I really want to understand, I want to visualize by circuit and by substation where we have our SmartHours customers and where we have our volt-var optimization. I want to be able to look at what we can do to optimize. If I can fully utilize volt-var optimization before I send price signals to my SmartHours participants, maybe I don't have to send as high a price today. Again, it deals with that fatigue factor of always sending high prices to our customers. Want to expand into our business customers. We are not doing this same demand response program there yet. And then would like to expand the use of in-home devices. So maybe start looking at what we can do with our participants to add pool pumps, perhaps water heating, or maybe even plug load. If I can't reach that 120,000 number, which is a pretty lofty goal to sign up that many customers over 3 years, if I can get more demand response or more demand reduction per participant, I won't need the 120,000 to achieve my goals. And that's it. This is just a cartoon we use to just kind of depict the journey to year 2020 for us. It's a roadmap that just shows we're on a journey, and the destination is to achieve that 2020 goal of not building any additional fossil fuel capacity. And I would say there are a number of smart grid success stories out there where it is no longer an experiment. Companies are moving forward and they're fully deploying, as we are. But I would also say, even with the success that we've had, we've been named North American Utility of the Year. We're #1 in residential customer satisfaction. Our IT organization has been named a top 100 IT shop internationally. Thank you.